welcome you all back to another section of our science class. We are now dealing with chapter metals and non-metals. In previous class we have discussed about physical properties of metals. Have you all read the textbook and completed your notes? I hope you all have completed the notes. So many students have sent the notes through WhatsApp. Please continue that. Today we are going to study about the chemical properties of metals and non-metals. Let's see what are the chemical properties of metals and non-metals. In chemical property, the first one we are studying is reaction with oxygen. We have already discussed about this in previous class. Listen once again. The first one is reaction with oxygen. So the general representation we can write metal react with oxygen. Metal plus oxygen will give metal oxide. Metal plus oxygen will give metal oxide. For example, magnesium is a metal. It combines with oxygen O2 to give magnesium oxide. So, generally we can say that metals react with oxygen to give metal oxides. And what is the nature of these metal oxides? Metal oxides are basic in nature that will turn red litmus to blue. This is what we have learned in the previous class. So, how can we prove that these metal oxides are basic in nature? When we dissolve this metal oxide, this is a metal oxide, magnesium oxide. When we dissolve this metal oxide in water, it forms magnesium hydroxide. Magnesium hydroxide is a base. So, we can say that metal oxides are basic in nature because metal oxide when dissolved in water, it forms a base. That is why we say metal oxides are basic in nature. We have studied related to this chemical property is rusting of iron. Rusting of iron. And you know what is rust? Rust is hydrated ferric oxide. In rusting, iron react with oxygen and atmospheric water vapor to form hydrated ferric oxide. In your textbook it is given as ferric oxide. The actual formula is hydrated ferric oxide. So this is an example for rust. As it is a metal oxide, it is having basic nature. Then another reaction we have studied is corrosion of copper. Copper combines with atmospheric carbon dioxide, oxygen and water vapor to form copper carbonate CuOH twice. This is called basic copper carbonate. This is called basic copper carbonate. Okay, so this is all about the reaction of metals with oxygen. So metal plus oxygen will give metal oxides. Metal oxides are basic in nature that will turn red litmus to blue. So rusting is also an example for this. Rust is chemically hydrated ferric oxide that is basic in nature. Corrosion of copper is another example. Now let's see the reaction of non-metals with oxygen. Non-metals react with oxygen to form non-metal oxide. What are the examples for non-metals? Carbon, sulfur, etc. are examples of non-metal. You know carbon reacts with oxygen to form carbon dioxide. Sulfur reacts with oxygen to form sulfur dioxide. So non-metals also react with oxygen to form corresponding non-metal oxides. And these non-metal oxides are acidic in nature. They will turn blue litmus to red. Non-metal oxides are acidic in nature that will turn blue litmus to red. How can we prove this is acidic in nature? For example, we are taking sulfur dioxide. This sulfur dioxide, when dissolved in water, it forms H2SO3. This is sulfurous acid. This is sulfurous acid. Sulfurous acid. So, we can say that these non-metal oxides are also acidic in nature. When dissolved in water, it forms acids. Now let's see table 4.4. You have given some examples. Example of a base, calcium hydroxide. You have to find out the metal which is present in this base. Which is the metal here? Calcium hydroxide. So the metal here is calcium. So the metal here is calcium. Similarly, sodium hydroxide, which is the metal present in this base, sodium hydroxide. Sodium is the metal. Sodium is the metal. Then magnesium hydroxide, which is the metal present here, magnesium. This means that all the bases contain metals. All the bases contain a metal. The fourth and fifth one, you have to find out the example. Now, name of the acid. Sulfuric acid. You know what's the formula of sulfuric acid? Sulfuric acid is H2SO4, sulfurous acid. So, which is the main non-metal present here? That is sulfur. Other than hydrogen and oxygen, the main non-metal present here is sulfur. So, this acid contains sulfur as the non-metal. Then hydrochloric acid, the formula is HCl. So, other than hydrogen, the main non-metal present here is chlorine. So, we write chlorine in hydrochloric acid. The non-metal present is chlorine. Now, nitric acid, the formula is HNO3. So, other than hydrogen and oxygen, nitrogen is the non-metal here. So, we write nitrogen. So, that means all the acids contain a non-metal and all the bases contain a metal. The remaining fourth and fifth examples you have to write yourself. The second chemical property we are studying is the reaction of metals and non-metals with water. Here, most of the metals react with water, and the reaction of some metals with water is very vigorous. Vigorous in the sense it catches fire when reacted with water. Can you guess which are the examples of such metals? You might have seen this example somewhere. Sodium and potassium are highly reactive metals which react with water or air and catches fire easily. So, the reactivity of metals towards oxygen varies from metal to metal. So, comparatively we can say sodium and potassium are highly reactive metal that when reacted with water it catches fire easily. Some other examples are magnesium, iron, etc. All these combines with water or atmospheric moisture and forms oxides. So, metals generally combines with water to form metal oxides or metal hydroxides. Non-metals usually do not react with water. Even though non-metals react with oxygen, it do not react with water. So, certain non-metals like phosphorus, which react vigorously with oxygen, are stored under water to avoid its contact with the air or atmospheric oxygen. So, metals react with water, whereas non-metals do not react with water. Third chemical property we are studying is reaction of metals and non-metals with acids. Metals react with acids to produce salt and hydrogen. Metals react with acid to produce salt and hydrogen gas. Hydrogen gas will be evolved in this reaction and it produces a pop sound. Example is zinc is a metal. It reacts with hydrochloric acid to produce zinc chloride and hydrogen gas. Zinc chloride is called salt and along with that hydrogen gas will be evolved. Non-metals usually do not react with acids. Even though metals react with acids, the reactivity of different metals towards acid will be different for different types of metals. Like the reaction of metals with acids, we have to study the reaction with bases also. Metals react with base to produce salt and hydrogen gas. Here also hydrogen gas is evolved. The reaction of non-metals with base is very complex and which we do not need to study at present. Next, we are going to study about a very important chemical reaction, that is displacement reaction. That is one of the chemical property of metals. Before going to the displacement reaction, we have to know what is reactivity series. As earlier I told you, different metals have different reactivity. Sodium, potassium, etc. are highly reactive metals, whereas zinc, iron, copper, gold, silver, etc. comes under less reactive metals. So, the different metals have different reactivity. Arrangement of these metals in the decreasing order of their reactivity is called a reactivity series. So, what is reactivity series? Arrangement of metals in the decreasing order of their reactivity. For the time being, you need to study the reactivity of these three metals. So this is a part from the reactivity series. This is a part taken from the reactivity series. Here, as I told you, the metals are arranged in the decreasing order of their reactivity. That means, when you compare these three metals, the most reactive one is zinc. Iron is less reactive than zinc but more reactive than copper. Copper is the least reactive among these three. So, this is the reactivity series of zinc, iron and copper. Zinc is the most reactive one and copper is the less reactive one. In displacement reaction, only a more reactive metal can displace a less reactive metal. A more reactive metal can displace a less reactive metal. That type of reaction is called a displacement reaction. Now let's see some examples. The first one is copper sulfate. You know copper sulfate is blue in color. Copper sulfate is blue in color. When this copper sulfate is treated with zinc, or when the copper sulfate solution is treated with the zinc metal, you know, here the two metals are zinc and copper. Which is more reactive compared to this? Zinc is more reactive than copper. So, zinc will displace copper from copper sulfate solution. Zinc will displace copper from copper sulfate solution and forms zinc sulfate. Copper will be displaced out. Okay, so this type of reaction is called a displacement reaction. One metal displaces another metal from its solution. So the blue color of the copper sulfate solution will change to colorless. Now let's see the second example. Copper sulfate plus iron. Here also iron is more reactive than copper. So iron can displace copper from this solution. So iron will displace copper from copper sulfate and forms FeSO4 plus Cu. Now the third example, zinc sulfate plus copper. You know, copper is less reactive than zinc. So copper cannot displace zinc from zinc sulfate because it is less reactive. So this reaction do not take place. Fourth example is zinc sulfate plus iron. Here also iron is less reactive than zinc. So iron cannot displace zinc from zinc sulfate. This is also not possible. So displacement reaction, one metal displaces another metal from its solution to form a new compound. Okay, so if you need to understand displacement reaction, you have to know what is reactivity series. Reactivity series is the arrangement of metals in the decreasing order of their reactivity. A more reactive metal can displace a less reactive metal. With this, we came to the end of this chapter. Write down the questions in your notebook and find out the answers. Thank you.